Oh my gosh, we are live. What is up, you guys? I'm Alexandra Harbushka, founder of Life With Herpes. I don't know why that's crooked. Anyways, welcome. It's been a minute since I have been live. I have been working on my master's degree, and so I committed to being into school this last week. So I was really hyper-focused on that, trying to get through my coursework and stay on top of that. So welcome. So if you are just now joining and you're like, what is going on? Who are you? What are we talking about? My name's Alexandra and I'm the founder of Life With Herpes. I was diagnosed with herpes HSV1 back in 2003 and HSV2 back in 2011. So unfortunately, I can say I've had it for decades. Not unfortunately I have herpes, but unfortunately it's decades. I don't like saying decades. That makes me sound super old. But yeah, I've had herpes for almost 2 decades and I've been living with it. I've dated with it. I'm married with it. I have a baby. He's not really a baby anymore. I have a little boy. So I am absolutely living with herpes. When I was first diagnosed with HSV1 back in 2003, I was upset. I was annoyed, but there wasn't really anything sad or tragic about it. When I was diagnosed with genital herpes in 2011, it was tragic. It was absolutely crushing. It was paralyzing. It was suffocating. It was isolating. It was made my heart bleed. It was embarrassing. All those awful adjectives that you want to use when it happened, because I truly believed and truly felt that I was being punished. I truly believed that I deserved this, and I believed that my life was now over. I believed that I would have to settle. I believed that I'd have to stay with the guy that I got herpes from. I thought all those things. So I launched Life With Herpes back in 2017, so a while ago. And the reason why was because I didn't want anybody else to feel the way I felt. Like I said, it was so isolating and so self-loathing. I didn't want anyone to feel that way. I want everyone to realize that, yeah, there may be some hiccups, there may be some hard times, it may be a hard journey, but you absolutely can get through it. You're beautiful and amazing. Thank you so much, Snow. Amy Price, I'm so glad I found your account. Thank you. I'm glad that you guys are here. Again, this is your opportunity to ask your questions. This is why I am here. I am live talking about this, is that I can answer your questions live. Like I said, back in 2011, when I was first diagnosed with herpes, it was isolating. One of the reasons why social media is not, or was not, what it is today. And we didn't have this ability back then in 2011. And even if we did, nobody was talking about it. Taboo topics have really become a big, something to talk about really in the last, 2 years. Even when I launched this in 2017, talking about herpes was still really scary. My brother called me crying, telling me he had herpes and wanted to unalive himself because of it. So that's something really common that I hear. There's a lot of people that go through that when they are first diagnosed. And that is absolutely sad and absolutely tragic. The reason why we feel that way is because of the stigma. It's not because it's going to kill you. It's not because it causes really anything disruptful in your life. You're not going to lose an arm or things like that. It's a virus that causes blisters, that you get outbreaks when you are stressed out, more or less, when your body's stressed, when your nervous system's stressed, when you're run down. So there's absolutely, when I hear people wanting to harm themselves in any way because of this, it is absolutely tragic. And that is why I'm talking about this. There needs to be a plan of action. There needs to be understanding why we feel this way and a plan of action to get through it. There's consequences to not talking about herpes, and there's consequences to talking about herpes. And I think people should weigh those consequences and move through it. Did you have a breakout during birth? No, I did not. I was able to have a vaginal birth. And I got an outbreak a couple weeks later. It wasn't like a month or 2 months later I had got an outbreak. But yeah, I I was able to have a vaginal birth. So on that note, it is something that's possible. You can have a vaginal birth. It's something that I would recommend getting on the same page with your doctor. Leave it up to your doctor to help you make that decision. And also, how does the other birth parent feel? You know, how does he feel about that? Is he comfortable with it? What type do I have? I have both HSV1 oral and I have HSV2 genital. Something that's really important to know, just because you have HSV1, it's most commonly associated with oral herpes, doesn't mean you have it oral. Many people now get it genitally, and vice versa. HSV2 is typically associated with genital herpes, but it can also be oral. Does it break any laws to not disclose? Because I think it is for HIV to withhold information. Yeah, HIV has a lot of different laws attached to it, obviously, because if you don't treat HIV, it can turn into AIDS and then you can die. There's a lot of other laws associated with HIV, like in real estate and things like that. Like, there's a lot of different laws, so I'm not up to date on that. Different states have different laws. Some states say it is illegal to not disclose to a partner. I would say look into the state you live in and see if it's legal or not legal. With that being said, whether there's a state mandate or not, I would encourage you or your partner or whoever. This is an ethical dilemma, right? This is an ethical matter. This is a matter of character. This is a matter of moral. It's not so much, we don't necessarily need a law to tell us, right? It's a moral topic. Oh, someone said moral laws, but no, that's so funny. We're on the same page. Yeah, it's a moral thing. So, can it cause blindness if it gets in your eyes? It can. It can cause blindness if it gets in your eyes, and that's one of the concerns while birthing. So if a mother has an outbreak during birth, it can become it's called neonatal herpes, meaning infant herpes. And if it goes into the infant's eyes, then it can cause the infant to go blind, or us, if we get it in our eyes, we can cause it to go blind. Ocular herpes is rare. It's not very common, and there are treatments for it. So there is a treatment to help you. Basically, if you get it treated, you're not going to go blind, right? Or shouldn't go blind. I can't say not because I'm not a doctor, but if you get it treated, you should be okay. I tested positive. I've never had an outbreak. My OBGYN insists I'm not considered to have it. So even though you're testing positive, and don't have herpes, it still means that you have herpes. So basically what we're doing when we're testing for herpes, most likely you were tested via a blood test. They're looking for the antibodies in your system. Herpes doesn't live in our blood. It lives in our nervous system. It lives, it's a skin disease. It's not a blood disease. So even though you tested positive and don't get outbreaks, you still are considered herpes positive, and it's something you need to disclose. So it would be, people are going to be jealous of you. People that are on here right now, like, wait, you have herpes and don't get outbreaks? Like, that's a really great thing. Majority of the population does not get outbreaks. So it is more common not to get outbreaks than to get outbreaks. But there's a lot of people like myself that do get outbreaks, and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm so jealous you don't get outbreaks. I now had a unique explaining to your husband, but what advice do you suggest for new relationships? So I recommend you, first of all, look and see what type of relationship do you want. Are you looking for something casual, or are you looking for, I have a bug in here, or are you looking for more of a long-term relationship? If it's more of a long-term relationship, I recommend waiting. Well, regardless, wait until you're ready to have sex. So I don't mean wait until like the minute, but wait until the relationship reaches that position of you ready to be intimate. So if it is something that it's very casual, I recommend just being open and honest upfront. Like, hey, let's make this casual. I have this. I want you to know. You can even ask, like, are you positive for anything? I'm negative for these things. I'm positive for this. Have you been tested? So just open with more of a sexual health conversation and less of like, oh my God, I have this. Will you still accept me? And that same thing goes for a relationship. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, it should be whenever you're ready to sleep with that person. Just because you're dating that person, just because you're going out for drinks with that person, doesn't mean you're going to sleep with them. You may get to the point of like, I don't like them. I don't like the way that they do this or that. Or they annoy me or whatever. So wait until you're ready to sleep with that person, and then that's when you have that conversation again. Open with sexual health, open with what are we going to do about birth control, open with, is this exclusive, is it not exclusive? Ask those uncomfortable questions, but it allows it to be a better everyone on the same page conversation. My son just woke up. I heard him just wake up. I have to go, you guys. Let's see. Let me see if I can take you with me and see what we do. How contagious is genital herpes 1 even without a current outbreak? HSV 1 or 2 are contagious when we have outbreaks or when the virus is shedding. So viral shedding means typically it's asymptomatic. The host does not know that they are getting outbreak. They're shedding. I'm trying to put my shoes on. Ugh. The host doesn't know that they're shedding. I would say that if you are on the antiviral, that's going to be the best way to prevent transmission. If you're not getting outbreaks, that's also great. You're less likely to transmit it. I don't really want to give it a percent, what's the percent of contagious? How contagious are you? I think it's an opportunity just for you and your partner to have a hi, but you want to say hi to mommy's friends? Look who just woke up from his nap. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, Rosie went home.
Yeah, Rosie went home. And Mommy and Clinton, are we going to go have fun?
Mommy, Clinton, in the house.
We're in the house. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I apologize I didn't get to all your questions. I will be live tomorrow, and we can talk about it.
And poo-poo.
We had a poo-poo.
Yep.
That's awesome. Okay.
Awesome.
I have to go, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. And I appreciate you being here. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye, guys.